Season 3 ended with the Brazilian Wonder Kid winning the Champions League. Now he randomly got approached by a large man. This large man offered him a French passport, which now meant he could play in the European Championship. When he joined the team, he realized he was playing alongside his club teammate, the star player. The first match started, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid was open, but the star player scored on his own. The star player was actually popping off. I'll be so real. He scored another nice AF goal. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was literally wide open again, but for some reason, the star player refused to pass it and instead scored a screamer missile banger. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was a wee bit ticked off now. The star player took a shot, and it was blocked, and it fell to the Brazilian Wonder Kid. The Brazilian Wonder Kid had one last chance to prove himself to the French national team. Chaya, that was a banger. The star player was still not impressed. He explained that he was the French chosen one, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid should pass him the ball every play. How could bro literally say that? Secretly, he agreed because as long as they could win the Euros, he was happy. The next match started, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid put it on a plate for the star player. He actually kept setting bro up with dime after dime. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was literally stat padding the star player. He wanted to score himself, but the star player didn't let him. The coach then approached him and said he needed to pattern the flip up and actually score. The French coach was telling the Brazilian Wonder Kid he needed to score more. But then out of nowhere, the star player got a severe nose injury. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was so confused, and before he knew it, he found himself in the French football headquarters. The coach basically said that in order to replace the injured star player, he needed to prove himself by scoring against the #1 French goalkeeper in France. Apparently, this guy had never conceded a single goal in his career. He stepped up to take the pen, and the French GK was trying to get in his head. Would his mind games work? Normally, the Brazilian Wonder Kid was ice cold. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was hella confident until somehow the French GK made an impossible save. This was so tragic. They basically decided to give him another chance, but this time he'd have to dribble the 6'7", 99 strength French center back and then score. The Brazilian Wonder Kid had to defeat 2 OP French players to earn his spot back. He then proceeded to hit the cleanest sombrero flick in recorded history. If that wasn't enough, he hit the cleanest nutmeg in history on the French GK. I know I'm glazing, but I don't even care. He earned his spot back on the French national team. The next match was against the Netherlands, who had the Dutch Lion. This guy had 99 aura and scored an aesthetically pleasing no-look volley to take the lead. The Brazilian Wonder Kid decided he needed to lock the truck in and started hitting some crazy skills that only he can do. Then the performed an intricate flick and volleyed it home to make it 1-1. Right after he hit his signature sombrero flick half-volley combo to take the lead. Everything was great until, plot twist, the Dutch Lion bamboozled the Brazilian Wonder Kid to tie the game. The Brazilian Wonder Kid hit a generationally monumental skill, followed by an AK 3000 directly after. Then he green-timed a power shot to win the whole match. Bro was on top of the world, all until the star player returned from injury, and now he had the mask trait. Turns out there was no beef, as the star player gave the Brazilian Wonder Kid the coldest dap. The Brazilian Wonder Kid sauced a defender, played a flary 1-2 with the masked star player. He scored an impossible volley to take the lead. Then he gave a mousetrap pass to the masked star player, who twirled around the defense and scored a screamer. I swear the mask ameliorates this guy's performance immensely. The Brazilian Wonder Kid showed some tech of his own to play another delicious 1-2 to bag his second of the game. This duo was so overpowered, I can't lie. Then they were up against the tournament favorites. Can they continue their form? Spain were playing tiki-taka possession ball. This was actually impossible for the French to defend. It's not looking good, bruv, and they scored an early team goal banger. We are witnessing pure Spanish domination. After they scored, they kept possession for hella long. The Brazilian Wonder Kid got a flurry of chances at the end, but bro could not score. All his shooting ability literally got nerfed. This was the biggest fall off of all time. Whatever he tried just failed every single time. Bro was doing the opposite of cooking. What an El Merchant. In the 90th minute, the masked star player absolutely went crazy and scored a world record 4 goals in 10 seconds to secure the win for France. Bro's actually him. This is the best performance we've seen since Aaron Mui retired. Then the coach called the Brazilian WONDERKID over with some news. Judging by the position of his eyebrows, Bro did not look happy. What is he gonna say? And the coach sent him across the country to clear his mind. He found a random pitch on a very scenic location. But then a random man just spawned and challenged the Brazilian WONDERKID. This guy just finished studying at the library. There's no way he could kick ball. There was no way this random guy could beat the one and only Brazilian WONDERKID. The Brazilian WONDERKID hit some of his finest step-overs, but the mystery baller stole the ball easily. Then he easily scored. Bro did that so easily. The Brazilian WONDERKID was literally not expecting that. He knew he had to raise the level up. Bro locked in this time. He hit a nearly impossible skill move to flick the ball over. But the mystery baller read him like a book and headed it into the net to make it 2-0. This time the Brazilian WONDERKID knew he needed to pull something out the bag. He did his signature 100% effectiveness skill. Can he volley it in? This was a guaranteed golazo. Somehow, the mystery baller made the most nonchalant save of all time. Then he put the ball down and green-timed a power shot, which pushed the Brazilian WONDERKID into his own goal. Bro's lucky he didn't fracture his arm. Then the mystery baller called the Brazilian WONDERKID over with some advice. This was going to be so insightful. But then he straight up sparked him in the face. Wait, but something changed. It looks like he transferred his 99 rated attributes to the Brazilian WONDERKID. Bro hit a body feint so powerful it sent the mystery baller. Yep, so he definitely had 99 dribbling because that was legit crazy. Then he used his new 99 long shot to score a banger. The mystery baller was happy to transfer his powers. The Brazilian WONDERKID returned to the French national team, who were now in the Euro final. They were playing against the inevitable striker and the Portuguese WONDERKID. The Portuguese WONDERKID had hella fast feet and dribbled through the whole team. He even nutmegged the Brazilian WONDERKID. Then he scooped it to the inevitable striker, who nicely cushioned the ball and scored an insanely acrobatic bicicleta banger. Oh, it's not looking good, Brev. The Brazilian WONDERKID had some of his own tricks up his sleeve as he got the better of the inevitable striker and played the star player through. The star player absolutely bamboozled the Portuguese defense with nonchalant ease, and then, what the Sigma? He scored a banger. The inevitable striker then showed some technical prowess before playing in the smiling winger, who scored a beautiful 1-on-1. Can the French national team come back from this? This is when the Brazilian WONDERKID told the star player they needed to lock the flip in. Then they had some 100 chemistry telepathic link-up play. The star player then crossed it back post, and the French midfielder tapped it in to tie the game. Then literally right off kickoff, the Brazilian WONDERKID won the ball, and 360 no-scope rainbow flicked the defender, and thunder clarded the ball. It went bar down, and I swear it went in. They looked at goal line technology, and the referee determined that it was a goal. So France took the lead. Then in the dying moments, the Brazilian WONDERKID crossed the ball, and the Portuguese defender handballed it. It was a penalty, and the Brazilian WONDERKID stepped up. He scored a signature panenka to put the cherry on the icing on the cake. They had won Euro Championship Cup. They had defeated the inevitable striker to become champions of Europe. What a way to end Season 4. The Brazilian WONDERKID was sent to a random pitch and was reunited with the small Argentinian man. They were happy to see each other, but TBH, they had no idea why they were there. Then a random coach spawned and said that they were picking one player to re-sign to the Spanish Super Club. Whoever scored the most goals would re-sign. They were playing against an overpowered national team. The two ballers decided to work together. The small Argentinian was through, but out of nowhere, the Nigerian defender hit him with the cleanest slide tackle. Then he played a long ball, which the striker headed back from him to score a green-timed power shot from half. How does a defender score from this far out, bruh? Anyways, they got another chance, and the midfielder nutmegged the small Argentinian. Their 6'4" striker was in the box, and the midfielder skillfully crossed it. He headed it in using his power header plus trait to double their lead. It's not looking good, bro. That's until the Brazilian Wonder Kid realized he needed to lock in on his own. The Brazilian Wonder Kid's team was losing 2-0, and he decided to lock in as he destroyed the defender not once but twice and scored a rocket volley. Oh, qué golazo. His teammate, the small Argentinian man, knew he could match that and went on a crazy solo run, breaking the defender's ankles to make it 2-2. I can't lie, this was a banger. He even weak foot chipped it. Now the two teammates each had 1 goal to their names. Whichever teammate scored more would get signed, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid had a chance. But the small Argentinian man was pleading for it, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid gave in and passed it. The Argentinian man got fouled before he could score, and it was a penalty. He gave the penalty to the Brazilian Wonder Kid out of respect, and now he had a chance to score and get signed. Can he clutch up here? The Brazilian Wonder Kid had a chance to get signed if he scored this penalty. This was the most crucial moment of his career. Can he make his dreams come true? Then, out of nowhere, the small Argentinian man snaked him and scored the penalty so he could get signed. This was so devastating as now, the Brazilian Wonder Kid would not be re-signing to his new club. So instead of making the dream return, he accepted a money move to a top Saudi club. In the first match, he was playing against a top team who had the GOAT. This guy was the best and most decorated striker of all time. This team locked up the Brazilian Wonder Kid, and bro stood no chance. Then they crossed it into the GOAT, who headed it in to take the lead. What a trademark goal from the GOAT. This is when the Brazilian Wonder Kid had enough. He locked in. He channeled his Brazilian flair. It was time for a samba skill show. Can he score the equalizer here? The Brazilian Wonder Kid had a chance to tie the game, and he scored. Now he was playing with confidence and taking over the game with his incredible skillful prowess. But it was the Serbian striker who had the killer instinct to take on a defender and have a shot on goal. The ball was going in, but the GOAT hustled back and somehow cleared the ball off the line. The ball fell to the Brazilian Wonder Kid, who completed the top 1 most technical move in football. Then he volleyed it upper 90 bins to win the match. Oh golly, that was such a banger. The GOAT was so sad he was crying in his car. The team partied for days in the club to celebrate this win. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was getting absolutely turned up. They brought the energy and hype into the next match until they were shocked at who they were playing against. They could not believe it. It was none other than the young Bobby Charlton. 2012 Mudryk was up against Bobby Charlton in a goal-deciding one-on-one. His ball control was actually incredible, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid watched as he completely faked out the young Bobby Charlton and then managed to score afterwards. The Brazilian Wonder Kid couldn't believe it as he rushed over to the pitch. The coach said he was no longer needed on the team. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was absolutely distraught. He for a second thought his career was over, until his phone started ringing, and it was a call-up to his national team. He was told about a rare opportunity to play against a top club team in a cup final. The match was literally tomorrow. He traveled all the way to Spain to play in a cup final. They could see the beautiful trophy already. Can they beat the top Spanish team? The Brazilian Wonder Kid was challenging for the trophy. He was working with his national team. The top Spanish club were standing in the way of the trophy. This was a high-level team, and there was a lot of pressure. The Brazilian Wonder Kid locked in and went on a crazy skill run. He hit some clean moves, but then the veteran defender ran in and fouled him in the box. They were awarded a penalty, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid stepped up. This was a pressure penalty. I can hear his heartbeat from here. If he scored, they take the lead in this cup final. He did his signature run-up and sent the GK, but he hit the post. The rebound came out to his teammate, and somehow he got fouled again. There was another penalty, and the teammate claimed it. Can he score to take the lead? The Brazilian Wonder Kid's teammate had a penalty to take the lead, but the goalkeeper somehow managed to pull off an effortless save. Ain't no way bro saved that. Now the top Spanish club locked in and played liquid football. They took the lead with a curling top bins banger. Then they got another chance, and the classic midfielder did his signature move to unlock the defense, and he made it 2-0. The Brazilian Wonder Kid couldn't believe it. Then he fully realized where he was, and he locked in and entered Brazilian full potential Lord mode. The last player to enter this was Pelé himself. He skillfully played a 1-2 with his teammate and then hit a 10-star skill move on the last defender. But can he finish the chance and begin the comeback? The Brazilian Wonder Kid hit a 10-star skill move to beat the defender, and then he chipped the keeper. The comeback was on. Then he rainbow flicked the defender and volleyed it home to tie the game. Now it was time to fully lock in. He ran through the whole team, and when he was in the box, he got brought down. It was a penalty, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid had a chance to win the cup final. He stepped up to the spot, and he wasn't nervous. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was cold-blooded. He took the penalty kick, but the goalkeeper pulled off a wicked save. He almost panicked, but then the Brazilian Wonder Kid saw that there was a rebound, and he slid in to tap it in. The Brazilian Wonder Kid had won the cup for his team single-handedly. Now it was time to lift this trophy for the second time in his career. What an amazing way to end the season. The Brazilian Wonder Kid has finally returned just in time to play against the Italian super squad. They had the most iconic striker. The Brazilian Wonder Kid wasn't alone, though, as he was alongside the little magician as well as the striker with massive teeth. The little magician was on the ball and he skillfully nutmegged the defender. He looked up and saw the Brazilian Wonder Kid running in. The Brazilian Wonder Kid had the most high IQ play and backheeled it to the striker with massive teeth who had seemingly scored. All until the defender rushed back with extreme pace and cleared the ball off the line. Now the toothy striker skipped past a defender and saw the little magician. Bro bamboozled the poor fullback and sauced up a dime back post, but somehow the Brazilian Wonder Kid fumbled the bag. Now the Italian super team were on the attack, and the iconic striker was showing his class. He pulled off an angelic flick. The iconic Brazilian striker hit a crazy scissor kick to make it 1-0. It was not looking good for the Brazilian Wonder Kid's team. He was not done there. This guy randomly decided to have a pop from 112 yards out. No way bro can score from there. He ended up scoring a screamer. The iconic striker was on the ball again. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was convinced he could lock him up. The iconic striker cooked the Brazilian Wonder Kid easily. He hit a Rabona cross and the other striker headed it in. This is when the striker with big teeth had had enough. He was determined to score. He ran through and scored to get a goal back. Then the defenders on the other team were unorganized and he pounced on the opportunity once again. They were running out of time, but he got fouled in the penalty area.
His third goal was a hyper-intense penalty which equalized, making it all to play for. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was so ready to lock in. He got set up through on goal, but he bottled it and hit the bar. He couldn't believe it. An aura-maxing striker walked past the pitch. He called the Brazilian Wonder Kid over. He gave him his personally signed autobiography. The Brazilian Wonder Kid started reading it and something switched in his head. He got on the pitch and called for the cross. The little magician sent a perfect cross in.
Brazilian Wonder Kid went for the absolute impossible. It was now or never. His scorpion kick cut through the air and nestled in the top corner to win the match. This was low-key the goal of the century, and no one could believe it. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was the hero. Apparently, this was voted top 1 most Sigma moments of the year by the official Sigma Society. The other team was distraught. It was straight back to business, and they were now facing their #1 biggest rivals. The magician was on the ball, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid made a darting run into the box. And he played a diagonal ball to the Brazilian Wonder Kid, who stretched like a yoga instructor to get the early goal. These two had the most fire chemistry. Then the Brazilian Wonder Kid showed some jaw-dropping skill to Pana the defender, and he got brought down. It was a penalty kick, and the rival defender even got a yellow card. The Brazilian Wonder Kid stepped up, and he knew he had to lock in if he wanted to score against this insane keeper. He did the breathing exercises that his meditation therapist back in Brazil taught him. He calmly stepped up and nonchalantly chipped it down the middle to double their team's lead. He was cooking this match with 2 goals already. Then the magician went on an inspiring run and beat the goalkeeper to make it 3. This team might be better than Prime Outlaw. The other team's star player could not believe it. That's until the other team had a secret meeting, and then out of nowhere, the Croatian star started going crazy. Crody was bossing the midfield with 99 dribbling, and then he saw the star striker making a run. Bro ran a Trivela dime, and then the star striker perfectly headed it in. The Croatian star was literally so locked in right now, and he completely confused the Brazilian Wonder Kid's teammate and whipped the ball top corner. They only needed 1 more goal to tie the game now. The Croatian star was on the ball again. He played a 1-2 with the star striker, and he got the ball down on the wing. The rival star striker bodied the Brazilian Wonder Kid and scored a big header to tie the match. The Brazilian Wonder Kid dang near crashed out after this, and the coach ended up subbing him. The Brazilian Wonder Kid couldn't believe it. He was replaced by a secret samba super sub. When the samba super sub got on, he went on a monumental skill run, nutmegging the first defender and even hitting an Aka 3000 on the next. Then he switched it to the magician, who headed it up and back across. This set the samba super sub up for the most insane power shot bicycle kick of all time. This will surely be the greatest goal in the history of football. The Samba Super Sub lined up for the most clinically insane bicycle kick in football history, and he managed to score the match winner. This was the most iconic way to finish an El Clasico since Adama Traoré played on Barca. The rival team could not believe they lost. Even the Brazilian Wonder Kid was hyped from the bench. Now they were on a plane to Brazil for a special matchup. The magician and the Brazilian Wonder Kid were cooking in Brazil. They felt unstoppable. Then they realized they were up against the Brazilian Wonder Kid's old team. This team was extremely dangerous and skillful. The technical winger was on the ball and drove to the wing. He cut back and played it to the techie cam. The techie cam showed some nice footwork and then chipped it to play one of the most flary 1-2s down the pitch. The technical winger saw the techie cam making a run and crossed it perfectly in time for him to head it in to take the lead. These Brazilians were firing. The Brazilian Wonder Kid and the magician knew they had to lock in. The Brazilian Wonder Kid laid it off to the magician, who took on literally the entire team and slithered through everyone and tied the game. The technical winger was driving with the ball again. This time, the Brazilian Wonder Kid decided to press him. Bro cooked him so bad, bro. Oh my days. Then he played a killer 1-2. The technical winger scored to take the lead for the Brazilian Wonder Kid's former team. Now the magician was on the ball, and he saw the Brazilian Wonder Kid making a run, and the Brazilian hit his jaw, dropping signature first touch. Then he pulled off a never-seen-before skill to beat the technical winger. The techie cam pressed the Brazilian Wonder Kid, but that was a mistake because Lil Bro got cooked. The Brazilian Wonder Kid let it loose from 247 yards, and he scored to tie the match once again. Then the ref called for a substitution, and the rivals were bringing on none other than the Saudi Ronaldo. They couldn't even believe that Saudi Ronaldo was on this team. Saudi Ronaldo got the ball in the corner and nutmegged the Brazilian Wonder Kid, then faked out the magician. He hit his signature move, then smashed it near post to take the lead once again. They were running rampant. The Brazilian Wonder Kid hit a generational move on the Saudi Ronaldo. The Brazilian Wonder Kid hustled and barely kept the ball in. He cut it back to the magician, who scored to tie the game in the last minute. The other team were furious and they thought the ball went out. Their coach literally crashed out. Bro pressed the ref like he was on smoke. The ref gave the coach a red card and sent him off. Meanwhile, the VAR was looking at the goal and they realized that the ball low-key did go out. They assessed the clip for 7 hours and determined the goal shall not stand. The rival coach was so hyped, and Bro hit the cleanest knee slide since Prime Adebayor. It was a quick turnaround now, as the Brazilian Wonder Kid stayed in Brazil because Bro got called up to the national team. When their opponent entered the pitch, they could literally feel the ground rumbling. It was none other than the British Hulk. Bro was literally built like prime Bradley Martin. This guy was not fazed. The Brazilian Wonder Kid started cooking up some of his signature moves. He tried to rainbow flick the British Hulk. Bro literally got bodied. The British Hulk was defo 160, bro. His teammate decided to take matters into his own hands. He wrong-footed the British Hulk. Out of nowhere, the British Hulk came barreling down the pitch and absolutely rocked him. Now the British Hulk made a run, though. His teammate whipped the ball in, and the British Hulk leaped and headed it home to make it 1-0. This man was literally unstoppable. He had it all. The Brazilian Wonder Kid did not know what to do. Then the rival team got another chance, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid went up to win the header. He got dropped by the British Hulk again, and he won the header, but this time he hit the bar. The Brazilian Wonder Kid knew it was now or never, and he needed to lock in. He pulled off a move that confused the British Hulk and bamboozled the frick out of him. He cut back and cooked up a Rabona shot. The ball was sailing top corner. Then right at the last minute, his teammate headed it in and stole the goal. Turns out the teammate was actually offside, and the goal was disallowed. The Brazilian Wonder Kid was furious and almost crashed out. The ref announced there was only 1 minute left, and the Brazilian Wonder Kid found himself on the ball. This was his last chance to equalize. The British Hulk stepped forward to challenge him. The Brazilian Wonder Kid tried to fake him out, but he was thrown to the ground. The British Hulk had dealt with Bro accordingly. The Brazilian Wonder Kid ended up fully tearing his ACL. This would turn out to be a long-term injury. What a devastating way to end Season 6.